Sorry everyone, my my device ran out of battery, so my video was cut off previously. Okay, let me continue this cut. Please pardon me because somebody is stealing my chakra, so I have problems speaking. My throat is uncomfortable. If my voice come back, you'll hear my original voice. Because they steal my chakra, that's why my voice is very hoarse. They have been stealing my chakra and my energy to go card reading for other card readers. Okay, let me explain to you. This card, when it comes to the eagle that's flying down, means the power is on the downfall. They are falling downwards. When eagle is flying up, it's soaring. It's flying up, that means the power is soaring. There'll be success to soaring. When it's going down, that means the power. This person in power is going down. And this woman is holding on to this person in power, going down together. This Queen of Swords in reverse. May not know the authorities. Are pulling them to going down together. Another thing I need to mention on this is the two diamonds. In cardmancy, it means money coming in, money luck. For here, if the diamonds, if it's upright, it's going up. That means the financial scenario is optimistic, but in reverse, it's going down. It's falling down. That means there will be financial problems. Not only in any family, company, or even medical hospitals or government organizations where they're running the things on a tight budget to solve the problem. Could be that the budget is tight, which is, we all know why it's tight. So there may not be enough to last for the money that they dish out. And the other thing is, the balance scale is in reverse. Reverse meaning that it's unbalanced. The whole scale is going down. And the scale looks like two fountain springs that's bringing water out. Yes. Water in Chinese, it means money. Riches. Gold. Good earnings and good profit. So, if the whole scale is in balance, whatever that's bringing out to the public is in reverse. That means everything will come down. This is the middle, looks like a heart, but the heart has an open at the top with a valve. It's pouring out. That means everybody is pouring out grief in the scenario of how happy they are with the scenario. Whatever that's happening to them, to everyone around them, to the society, or to whatever situation that's involved or scenarios that's involved. If there are deaths in the family, you'll be pouring out of grief and sorrow and sadness. Look at the background of this Queen of Swords. It's a dark gray sky, which means the scenario is not very, very bright. It's dark. Yes, if you're not bright, you look at all the shiny water that's springing out, the golden diamonds that's shining, the scale balance upright. Everything will be by the law and everything. But when in reverse, everything is haywire and upside down. This is the scenario for autumn, overall scenario. Then it comes to the cost card. There is the knave of this, which is actually the knight of this. Normally the knight of this rides on a horse. But this knight of this is walking with a pentacle, holding in his hands, looking unhappy, looking sad, dissatisfied, inoptimistic, not optimistic, unoptimistic. Sorry for using the wrong word. That's inoptimistic. He has just finished making the pentacles with all the tools that's lying on the ground. Okay. There's an pottery pot here, where the arrows are inside the pot. Yes, the arrows. It looks like arrows, but actually it's not arrows. It's the harvested grain. But from what I look, it looks like the arrow, which means the wall will be down. There will be no war because due to this crisis, health crisis scenario, not many people will be worrying each country because you'll be wasting their resources. But look at the number of, if let's say this is a grain that's in the pot, how much grain is there left? It's very little, which means there won't be much food available. Probably have to go on food rationing. The only thing that's blossoming is the plant and the flower. Yes, the nature. Due to less pollution, the nature is smiling again. But bear in mind, flowers are for the dead. The flowers may be blooming for you to pluck to offer to those family members or children or parents or grandparents that are dead. There's another thing here that's behind. These are bricks. Bricks that's on the ground. Bricks represents construction, which means the construction will be on hold due to lack of fund, lack of manpower, lack of time due to quarantine. Yes, lack of time because they can't complete within the schedule due to the lack of manpower. Some manpower is being quarantined. The other scenario is the financial scenario is no good. So lack of fund coming in, the construction work is on hold. That is the other scenario of putting the construction work on hold. And the third scenario is the company closed down, unable to support the construction work due to lack of fund, due to the economic crisis. That means the incoming and outgoing fund is insufficient to keep the company running. So when their company closed down, declare bankruptcy, or they give up the job, where they pay the contract fine, will be lesser than what they lose in long term. Okay. This card is the end of autumn scenario. The ending part. Yes. Look at this card. There's a castle in the background. For this card, the entire background is actually a nightfall. Illuminated yellow because the fire is burning. That means there's a lot of cremation going on. The other scenario is, besides the cremation going on, is the whole situation is in emergency crisis where it's burning. Where there's fire here and there, you need to put out. And the other thing is, the fire is burning up the backside. Of the boss or whoever person is in charge of whatever scenario. And the other thing is, look at the ground. The hips and hips look like burial of the death. Yeah, there may be other deaths where it's not due to coronavirus, where they die, end up in burial. Yes, this is like heaps of burial sand. That's the ancient time when you bury the dead. The current one, you have tombstone. But this entire card is an ancient illustration. This whole card looks like autumn. It's true. During autumn, the leaves fall. Look at the leaves that's on the branches. It's not much. Why? Because most of it has fallen to the ground. Leaves also means money. That means whatever that's left is insufficient. Which this card is full of pentacles. Everybody is holding on to what they have. And look at these pentacles. It's a Chinese ancient pen coins, where it's been looped together by a string. That means this scenario has strings attached. For whatever that you are holding on to, there's strings attached. When there's strings attached, there will be consequences. This is the moon. Nightfall, the sky should be dark. This sky is dark. This one is due to the fire that's burning. The whole place is illuminated into yellow by the burning red fire. Even a castle that represents the country ruling is burning. This card, yes, it looks like China, which means to say the scenario is actually burning. Whatever that's on the surface may not be what it is below. But this card is not just meant for China, because it's for the worldwide crisis. That means every country will have a burning emergency scenario. Whatever they are holding on to has strings attached. Strings attached may be they are holding on to whatever fund they have that belongs to the peoples, which they are making use of the fund, which may be the taxpayers' money, to do whatever they can to turn back the scenario. Another thing is, this python is not cute. It's not dead. If it's dead, you'll be lying on the ground. But it's not. It's still fighting the King of Wands. It's still fighting. And the background is burning. And there's a lot of souls that's on top of the burning fire. Which means there's going to be a lot of death. When I talk about the ring of fire, yes, the ring of fire is the one that has frequent seismic earthquake. There's frequently having earthquake around the world. There's 4 rings of fire, but there's only 1 ring of fire on earth. That means Ubei says that there will be 4 major earthquake eruptions. That's going to cause disruption. But it will not be in spring because this is seismic activities. This is the preparation of the quake. When it happens, we don't know. And then the final scenario, the future after the 3 seasons, that's spring, summer, and autumn, is 8 of Cups in reverse. This 8 of Cups in reverse doesn't look like a nice scenario. The reason is, look at all the cups. They are actually ancient pottery vases. All of them have cracks and they are fallen to the ground. That means when the person leaves, 8 of Cups means leave in upright, means leaving the scene, abandoning the scenario. But it's in reverse, which is refusing to leave, trying to do control damages. And then on the ground, this yellow-red liquid is the lava that flow out from the volcanic eruption volcanoes. And this is the blue sea. You see, one of the cups is lying on the beach, submerged in water. Which means to say, there will be volcanic eruptions and tsunami. It's prominent because the fish bone, the dead fish bone, is lying on the beach, burned by the lava. Undersea eruption, the lava will not flow to the beach. You'll probably be underground in the sea. This is a above ground volcano. And there's one thing is, this is rain in the background. Notice the rain has yellowish rainfall, which means there will be acidic rainfall that we have to be prepared for. Maybe due to the volcano eruption, there's going to be aftermath, there might be acidic rainfall. This acidic rainfall will be dependent whether it's going to be harmful to the humans. Maybe to those that are allergic to whatever chemical that falls down in the acidic rainfall. And this statue, normally a person that's granted a statue on a pedestal is someone that has a lot of respect and fame and contribution to the society before he's granted a statue. Whether in terms of artwork or whatever society contribution, their statue will only be placed above a pedestal when they are greatly respected or to be put in remembrance. Look at him. The head is chopped off. The arms are off. which means to say they have no control over the situation because there's no hands. The haze is off means, yes, there's going to be death. Or there could be brain injuries, brain dead, or whatever brain-related diseases. Or accidents that's caused the head to be chopped off. For a scenario to be like this is everybody has reached their end of wits. They can't come out with anything to resolve the situation. But they're still trying their best to think of something to resolve the situation instead of walking away and leave everybody in vain. I see something behind. Here is actually it looks like the sea. Okay, from afar it looks like two kinds of scenario. One is the place where they build a structure to extract the crude oil from the bottom of the sea. The other thing is looks like two ships that's sailing away. Yes, leaving the scenario. That means there will be some people that's leaving. One thing we have to be aware of is, after the tsunami, if there's any land chemical pollution like the one in the Fukushima, where the radioactive substance is being washed into the sea, we might have to be aware the seafood is polluted. That means the seafood that we are eating might be polluted chemical. For the whatever sea creatures that's been caught nearby the vicinity of the tsunami, where there's chemical pollution, that we have to be aware of. That means whichever water where there's chemical pollution, please do not consume the fishes or whatever creatures inside from that river, lake, or the sea area. And one more thing I need to emphasize on, that is this. Look at the Eight of Wands. It looks like the ancient inscriptions. Yes, to me, it might be the the UK side where they have the ancient Celtic kind of things, but to me, it doesn't look like that. It looks more like the Incan, Mayan, or the Red Indians from the South America. They are kind of inscriptions. You may look into that. Maybe this might help you to find some clues that you need to know for the scenario. And then look at the lightning. Normally lightning is not orange in color. This is not lightning. This is flame. That means there will be burning. There will be burning of things. Situation will be on fire. Because lightning strike will normally be in white or yellow, like this one. There may be upcoming undisclosed fire burning situation that we do not know in certain countries or certain areas that's being buried. Another thing I want to talk about this card is it may be the buried of hatches. That means buried of those things that they do not want to disclose. For this card, those who have heart disease, cardio-related disease, heart-related disease, or weak heart, please take care of those in the family because they may not be able to take the grief, sadness, and the unoptimistic scenario, or the scenario of everything that's going down. This one, besides the Mayan, Incan, and the Red Indian, maybe you can look into the Egyptian. These are the basic four that I see from the symbols down here. Maybe they could give you a clue, the history of what might be a little bit help to the current situation. Whether it's resolving the communication problems, the problems in whatever scenario that you need to resolve, in order to let the communication be smooth. There might be clues down there. For this kind of oil candlelight, it's usually for the Indians, the Chinese, maybe for the Christians and the Catholics. The Indians, I'm talking about the Hindus and the Buddhists. That's why I tell you, a lot of religion is included in this card as well. But because of the card is reversed, the whole scenario is not a victory. It's no victory. The end of summer scenario is not a victorious one. And because of this, it ends up to the autumn scenario that's been dragged down by the summer scenario. If there's going to be earthquake, there's going to be death, which means to say there might be burial of deaths of those people that died in the quake, or there might be cremation of the bodies as well. This looks like body cremation incinerator to me. Yes, for this card, it's true that we are fighting this virus. It's something like a deadly venom of a cobra, which is quite true. This card does not mean that it's the end of the thing. It's still a long way to go. From the entire all the cards that display down here, I do not see a complete cure to the scenario within this year. That I shall end my reading.